they're so small that they won't transform. Are they still really Transformers?
Wait, I still function.
Wanna bet?
Hey toy fans, I'm here with another toy review, and this week I'm bringing you some Transformer goodness. Okay, so obviously Hasbro has the license for Transformers. That's their big thing. I happened to pick these up at Dollar Tree, and it was a while back, but I was able to get all 6 at a time, put them in the cart, send them off. I see these pop up every once in a while at other Dollar Trees, much like the little mini J. Joes. They're going to be kind of the same, and they are the mini Transformers, and they kind of come in these like blind bags, but they're just bags. So you got Bumblebee, Starscream, one of my faves, Megatron, Optimus Prime, Soundwave, and I think a lot of fan favorites, Grimlock. Of course, the big giant T-Rex robot. So, found these at $1 at the Dollar Tree. So total $6, really nothing that bad there. But I'm kind of interested to find out like what's in the bag. Now it says it's a figurine, so my guess is that they might not really move or anything, and they're blind bags, so that just seems kind of strange. Or are they blind bags? Because there's a person on the front. I mean, they're packaged like blind bags, so. Before we get into it, make sure if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Reach down there, hit that little thumbs up and give me a like on this video, and hit that bell for notifications so you can be updated from anything that comes from me to you. Now, let's go check them out. Okay, these are the Transformers that we're finding at Dollar Tree. Now, it's interesting to know that I think I refer to them as blind bags, but they're not actually blind bags. They come in a bag, but we're not guessing on who we're getting. You know, like I picked this up and I know I'm getting Optimus Prime without a doubt. Same with Grimlock, Bumblebee, Starscream, Megatron, Soundwave. And each one has the kind of G1 kind of design on the outside of the package, much like their counterpart from the original release of the toys by Hasbro. Now it is good to note that these are considered 6 and up because they are really small, and they are actually made by Hasbro right there. Let's see if we can get a close-up of that. It's really small, but this is a Hasbro toy. It says to collect them all. In each bag we're getting one Transformer minifigure, and that's it. So I can't wait to open these up and really get a good look at what we're getting. Out of that series, again, we got Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Grimlock, and judging from what I feel in there, he's probably in dinosaur form because that's usually how he shows up. Starscream, Megatron, and Soundwave. Alright, now for the bad guys, we got a purple kind of coloration. For the good guys, the Autobots, of course, we get our red. So think purple Decepticons, red Autobots, and that's really it. There's not anything else to this package. The backs are pretty simple, pretty plain, and each one just states that it comes with one figure. So, package isn't going to tell us anything else about this. So we need to get them transformed from their package to their little minifigure. And right out of the package, I was like, wow, these are looking cool. I really dig it. And it really is more representative of the G1 cartoon versus the actual toys. And a lot of the construction, the way that they've done the faces, and etc. And I was like, I love the fact they come with a card. And then I started to look. I'm like, here's Bumblebee. You can see, of course, that G1 head there. I was like, that's cool that they had Bumblebee, and you know, he's a pretty nice looking figure. It's got some pretty decent paint app and everything, even down to the wheels. There's no articulation on them, so we don't have to worry about that. And then I get to the card and I'm like, oh, he's got an Optimus Prime card. I'm like, well, okay. And on the back it shows the figures. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Maybe that was kind of a weird one. And then I got to Starscream, and I was like, oh, love Starscream. I love the paint app on them. This one's pretty good, pretty spot on. A couple missed areas here and there, and he's a little shiny, less gray and more silver. But that's okay. It's a really good looking figure. And then I get to the card and I'm like, oh, it's Optimus Prime again, and same card on the back. Okay, so I kind of moved to the next one. And then I did Grimlock. I was like, oh, hey, look, Grimlock. And very much like cartoonesque. And much like I had predicted, it was going to be the actual Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur, not necessarily the robot version of him. And I said, okay, and oh, it's Optimus Prime again. Okay. And at that point, I got to Optimus, which I really like the sculpt. And the paint app on him is really nice. Down to the tires, colored and everything. That's a good looking figure. And they're small. This makes sense for him to have this card with him. Then I got to Megatron. These are really nice. And even down to the belly section there with the paint app there. That's really good looking figure. Again, Optimus card. And then, last but not least, Soundwave. One thing I noticed is that his cannon was actually on the wrong side. His card art also has it on the wrong side. It's supposed to be on this side. But, you know, I guess you can flip-flop it every once in a while. Pretty nice on the paint application. It's also a good looking figure. And of course, an Optimus card as well. Let's compare some of these. Now, I wanted to compare these also with some other figures that have come out. There was the Kid Robot versions of them that came out. And you had, of course, Grimlock. And you had Soundwave. And then you had Optimus Prime. And one of the things that I noticed about these, like these Kid Robot obviously has kind of a standard, you know, body form that has just the arm articulation. These are a little more sculpted, look nicer, and have a lot more detail to them. But look how much smaller they are. These probably only stand about 2 inches. Here, let's compare it to some other figures. And to compare them a little bit more to some other things we've gotten in the line. So if you go back far enough to Transformers Armada, and I'm going to put them over here next to Starscream because, well, you know, in that figure version, he came with Starscream. But that's Skid. And, of course, the Armada Starscream was, you know, pretty tall. But even Skid overpowers Starscream here. Also looking at the primes, you have Alchemist Prime, Maximus Prime, and even Vector Prime. And they also stand a lot taller than these little minifigures. So they're going to be a lot bigger. So there's a little bit of scale to play with these. And last but not least, let's compare them with Siege on Cybertron. There's Starscream. And there is the mighty Spinister. Yeah, so these are super tiny in comparison. Now, these toys are out there on toy shelves at Dollar Tree, though they are starting to dwindle down. So if you happen to go and start looking for them, good luck on the toy hunt. All right, so that's the figures. You know, I'm gonna say I think they're kind of interesting. You know, they're just figurines, so they don't move at all. I couldn't really see myself playing with this much, but I could definitely see myself using these in photos down the road because the detail on them are pretty spot on. That if they're kind of in the background, you know, we get some really cool stuff out of that. So let's talk cost on this. So here we go. Cost. Each one of these was $1. That's it. And you're finding them at the Dollar Tree. So obviously Dollar Tree is one of those places I love to go to, pick stuff up at. So each one, we're going to say total for all 6 figures, $6. You know, honestly, I'm going to give it $1 sign. It's hard to beat $1 these days. Really, I could see these going for more, but you know, $1, not bad. $1 sign really seems to fit the bill here. Now, stars on this. This is going to be kind of where I have to look at this logically as a figurine. I can't really look at it as a action figure toy and more of just kind of a collector's figurine. Let's be honest with it. Stars on this, I'm going 4 stars. $4 for what we're getting? They're not bad at all. They're really not bad. I really feel that there's some areas of mispaint app, like Starscream's head is not the correct color, and you know, his boot color goes up way too high, and you know, his cannon's on the wrong side. But I mean, but those are like little things. I think my biggest complaint with this were those cards. I love that they came with a card, and you know, if I was opening Optimus Prime and I got this, I'm like, yeah, this is great. It almost feels like a sticker, but it's not. It's just a pack-in card. The problem that I have with this is that there's so much love and effort put into the package art that you're going to rip open and tear apart, that if you want to display this with your figure, you're getting the same exact card for every single figure. And that's not fun. You know, how hard would it have been for them to say, okay, we're going to make one Optimus, one Bumblebee, one Starscream, one Soundwave, one Grimlock, one Megatron, and we're going to put it in the correct packages. Done deal. That's it. And they didn't. Instead, they cheaped out on us and they give us one card. It's a good looking card, but now I have 6 of them. Don't know what to do with it. If I ever wanted to put these up, frame them, put the art behind it, I'm going to have to get the packages because that's the only thing that reflects who the character actually is. Kind of a bummer. For that one, I am going down a star. You have to. I mean, they're figurines. I get it. They're well detailed. Yeah. Paint apps, pretty good. But then when you give us a card that shows, you know, all the other figurines in the line and shows us what the figurines really look like, and you only put one character on there each and every time, that's a bit of a bummer for me. I still think they're worth picking up if you're a Transformer fan. Even if you're not an avid Transformer fan, you just want like some small things here and there to put on your shelf to show that you like Transformers, this is probably the way to go. And they look nice with other figures. I'll have to post that picture somewhere on Instagram. As a matter of fact, if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram at Tay Raygun. No spaces, just Tay Ray Gun. Preview for next week. Here we go. Okay. I think that'll be a fun one. I think that'll be fun, especially the whole mini set thing. Oh, I might have given something away. Whoops. All right, so preview for next week. Be sure to tune in next week. I'm going to have that one ready for you. I've got some other goodies available for you this week coming to you. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, be sure to hit that like button. Let me know that you like it. And remember, they're not dolls. They're action figures. Or in this case, they're just figures. This episode of Tay Ray Gun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.